Go to WeatherTech.com to order today. WeatherTech, the ultimate protection for your vehicle this winter.
Good morning, America. New this morning, insights into an alleged killer. The couple who took in Nicholas Cruz speaking out for the first time on his behavior at home, the rules he followed, and his mental health. Did they see any signs?
I have made it my mission.
Also, impassioned speeches from students on gun control.
This isn't just a mental health issue. He wouldn't have harmed that many students with a knife.
And the hero student riddled with bullets protecting his classmates.
Also this morning, the Russia investigation, President Trump taking aim at the FBI. This as administration officials are calling out Russia.
With the FBI indictment, the evidence is now really incontrovertible.
But why that response apparently did not sit well with the president.
War of words, the spat between NBA star LeBron James and conservative TV host Laura Ingraham.
We're going to create a new banner. This is a Jump Doc alert.
We will definitely not shut up and dribble.
How Ingram's responding to charges that her comments are racist.
And guts and glory, a soaring victory at the Olympics. All the latest from Pyeongchang as GMA talks to figure skater Vincent Zhou on making history at the Games.
Live from ABC News in New York, this is Good Morning America.
And Good Morning America, we want to thank you for joining us on this Sunday morning. We are going to start here with the latest developments in that horrific school shooting in Parkland, Florida. We want you to look at the images from an impassioned rally on Saturday where students who survived the massacre spoke out in favor of gun control. One sign reading, as you can see, "Make it stop."
Also this morning, we're hearing for the first time from the family who took in the alleged shooter, Nicholas Cruz, after his mother died. They have a searing story to tell about a depressed young man who they say showed no signs of impending violence.
All of this as President Trump is weighing in with an incendiary tweet slamming the FBI for missing the signals, accusing the agency of spending too much time on the Russia investigation.
A lot of reaction to that this morning. We have team coverage right here. Martha Raddatz and Matthew Dowd standing by. But we begin with ABC's Adrienne Bankert, who's right there on the scene in Parkland. Adrienne, good morning to you.
Good morning, Dan. Good morning, Paula. We're here at the memorial, and there is still so much raw emotion here in Parkland. Meanwhile, we're getting new information on the alleged shooter every single day, as you mentioned, including who he was living with and their response to this unthinkable violence. This morning, for the first time, we get a glimpse into what it was like to live with Florida high school shooting suspect Nicholas Cruz, the couple responsible for taking care of him after his mother's death, Kimberly and James Sneed, who tell the Sun-Sentinel, "We had this monster living under our roof and we didn't know," saying he followed house rules to the T. They describe him as depressed and say Cruz went to a therapist just days before the shooting. The night before the massacre seemed like any other. While the Justice Department investigates failings within the FBI to report past warnings of Cruz behavior, there's already talk of his sentencing. The state attorney says the grievous act is the type of case the death penalty was designed for. This in response to Broward County Public Defender Howard Finkelstein, who says he hopes prosecutors will agree to life in prison if Cruz pleads guilty now.
We have a moment here where we can help this community, help these victims begin to pick up and move forward.
And Finkelstein confirms with ABC News that information contained in a newly released Department of Children and Family Services report says Cruz had a history of mental health checks. He'd been diagnosed with autism, ADHD, depression, and had cut himself on Snapchat, expressing his desire to purchase guns.
This is not a Parkland tragedy, a Coral Springs tragedy. This is a community tragedy.
And there were raw emotions through impassioned speeches at a gun control rally this weekend in response to the violence. One of the loudest voices, Emma Gonzalez.
But if us students have learned anything, it's that if you don't study, you will fail. And in this case, if you actively do nothing, people continually end up dead.
We are the people who are going to make ourselves heard the most because we're the people who have the opportunity to do that.
This morning, the Trump administration promises to focus on school safety.
He will make the safety of our nation's schools our top administration priority.
And the Sneeds describe their emotional reunion following all of the violence at the high school. They say the last time that they saw Nicholas Cruz, they questioned him, but he looked remorseful. He looked lost and apologized. Dan and Paula?
Yeah, according to the article, the mother made a run at Nicholas and the father had to hold her back. It's an incredible article. Adrian, thank you very much. Let's bring in ABC's Martha Raddatz, who's also right there in Parkland, where she'll be hosting this week later this morning. Martha, good morning. I understand you sat down also with some students from the school. What are you hearing?
Well, I have to say, Dan and Paul, you have just never seen such emotion and such powerful, passionate emotion about wanting to do something about this, wanting this to stop. You know, I was thinking this is the first shooting we have really seen inside a school because of those videos we saw. We saw the fear up close. They felt the fear up close. But talking to a family yesterday, the son and daughter were both in that school, hearing their resolve to change this, to approach politicians, to say whatever they can to try to get Congress to listen, to try to get their local authorities to listen and try to change this.
Yeah, so many people feel this might be the turning point for our country, and a lot of people are calling for something to be done, Martha. But what is that something? Are there any policies that have been proven to work?
You know, Paula, I ask them again and again, and you both would have the same questions. Look, there was Sandy Hook, there was Las Vegas. There are so many things that have happened, and nothing has happened after that. There have been some state laws that they believe have been successful in Connecticut, in New York, and elsewhere. Others will refute those kinds of figures, saying that had nothing to do with it, had nothing to do with cause and effect. But they are wanting to look at all of these things again. I don't think this group of students is going to go away quietly. I think they're going to stick to this and try to see some sort of change.
But given the history of failed attempts to do something, do you think this time really is different? You live and work in Washington. Do you feel like there is genuine momentum here?
I feel there is momentum here. I feel there is momentum with a new group of people, a new group of students, of 17-year-olds, 18-year-olds who are resolved to change this. You're right, I live in Washington. It hasn't changed. We'll have to see what they do going forward to see if they really can make a difference.
Yeah, as you say, Martha, these students speaking with so much resolve that they will be the last mass shooting. That's what they're saying. We want to thank you so much, Martha. We know that you have an emotional show coming up, a special edition of This Week coming up from Parkland, Florida, including her powerful interviews with those survivors and their families.
Plus, the former Homeland Security Secretary Jay Johnson and former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie discussing the 13 new indictments in the Russia investigation. It's all coming up on This Week later this morning right here on ABC with Martha Raddatz, who, Martha, we thank you again. And that brings us to the president's tweet, which we mentioned earlier. It ties together the school shooting and the Russia investigation. Even by Trumpian standards, this one was provocative.
Yeah, ABC's Kenneth Moten is in West Palm Beach near Mar-a-Lago covering the tweet, the reaction, and the latest in the investigation. Kenneth, good morning to you.
Good morning, Paul and Dan. President Trump is just 40 miles away from Parkland right now at his Mar-a-Lago resort. He took one of the worst and deadliest mass shootings in U.S. history and connected it with his ongoing issues with the Russia investigation.
Overnight, President Trump blasted the FBI over the Florida school shooting and the Russia investigation, tweeting, "Very sad that the FBI missed all the many signals sent out by the Florida school shooter. This is not acceptable. They are spending too much time trying to prove Russian collusion with the Trump campaign. There is no collusion." The president also attacked media coverage of the special counsel's indictment of 13 Russians for alleged interference in the 2016 election. The president, who now appears to believe in the investigation, is focused more on when the Russians allegedly started meddling. Trump tweeting, "Funny how the fake news media doesn't want to say that the Russian group was formed in 2014, long before my run for president. Maybe they knew I was going to run, even though I didn't know." The indicted Russians accused of spreading fake news on fake social media accounts and infiltrating the American political process. By summer 2016, investigators say the goal to disparage Hillary Clinton and support Donald Trump. In an interview set to air Monday, the vice president responded.
There's no question that Russia sought to interfere, perhaps with other countries, in our electoral process. And It's absolutely essential that we take action.
Top Trump administration officials now calling out Russia.
With the FBI indictment, the evidence is now really incontrovertible.
Trump appeared to criticize that comment from his own national security advisor. Tweeting overnight, General McMaster forgot to say that the results of the 2016 election were not impacted or changed by the Russians.
The special counsel's indictment doesn't mention an allegation of collusion between the Russians and the Trump campaign, but the latest charges are just one piece of a broader Mueller investigation. The special counsel is also looking into that 2016 Trump Tower meeting with campaign officials and a Russian lawyer. And there's a possible obstruction of justice investigation. Dan and Paula?
Yeah, the investigation is to be continued. All right, Kenneth, thank you for your reporting from Florida. And political analyst Matthew Dowd joins us from Texas this morning. Matt, good morning to you. And let's jump right in and talk about that tweet with Trump calling out the FBI for missing the many warning signs of the Florida gunman. And Matt, considering the FBI has publicly admitted that they dropped the ball here, is the president's tweet smart politics?
I think it's not smart politics. One, it's not smart politics. Two, it undermines the premier law enforcement agency when we absolutely need them. These are 35,000 employees. But three, I think more importantly, at a time we need moral leadership and some sense of empathy in the country, the president can't seem to get out of making excuses for things that happen in his own world and his own political campaign. I think the president would be smart to channel the moral voices of the 15 and 16-year-olds that have spoken out in Florida on this, because those people are going to be voters in 2020. So he'd be much better off having some moral voice, which he seems incapable of doing in this moment, than figuring out a way to blame somebody else for something going on in his world.
Matt, on the Russia story, we heard in Kenneth's piece, both the vice president and the national security advisor, H.R. McMaster, are now saying there's unequivocal evidence that Russia meddled in our politics. Do you think this is going to force Trump to say the same and perhaps more importantly, to take some sort of action here?
Well, there's totally inconsistent messages, again, coming out of this White House, which seems the only consistent thing is inconsistency in this. You have a White House spokesperson yesterday who basically pointed the finger at the media and Democrats more than the Russians for what went on. Here's what we know, Paula and Dan. We know, one, the election in 2016 was decided by a few thousand votes. We know, two, that the Russians massively interfered in that election. Three, we know that communications and campaigns matter, so it probably had some effect on voters. And four, I think what the president is feeling, which he should, is there's some question on the validity of election with all those facts in play. I think that's the facts as we know them. Whether it overturned the election, he needs to confront the fact that there was an election that the Russians interfered with and speak out on it.
And we're now heading into a situation where everybody in the national security world is saying they're doing it again. They're still doing it. And we have midterms coming up in 2018.
Yep, we certainly do. All right, Matt, thanks for your analysis from Texas this morning. Appreciate it.
Great.
Okay, let's send things over to Ron Claiborne for a look at the news headlines that are happening this morning. Good morning to you, Ron.
Paula, good morning to you. Dan, Dr. Sam Champion.
How are you, sir?
Good morning to you. Good morning, everyone. We're going to begin with breaking news from Iran, where a commercial airliner with 66 people on board crashed in the southern part of that country. State media say that the plane went down in the mountains about 400 miles south of Tehran, and fog was keeping rescue helicopters from reaching the site. It's not clear whether anyone survived that crash. The plane was on a domestic flight from the capital, Tehran, to the city of Yasuj. And former Vice President Joe Biden may be gearing up for a run for the White House in 2020. The Associated Press reporting that Biden told foreign policy aides recently that he's keeping his options open and considering pursuing the Democratic nomination, but hasn't decided yet if he were to run and if he were to win. A couple of ifs there, big ones. Biden would be 78 years of age on Inauguration Day 2021, making him the oldest person ever to become the president. In Mexico, 13 people who survived a powerful earthquake in the southern state of Oaxaca, they were killed when they fled their homes seeking safety outdoors, and then a helicopter with government officials on board crashed on top of them. The officials were coming to assess quake damage. None of them, the officials that is, were died in that crash. No one was killed in the earthquake itself, and damage was light. In New York, a state worker has been placed on leave after an angry outburst led to her being removed from a commercial airliner flight. The woman demanding an Endeavor Air flight attendant give her a new seat away from a screaming baby.
Thank you, Tabitha. You may not have a job tomorrow.
The flight attendant ordered the woman off the plane. Delta, which is the airline's parent company, said the woman's behavior failed to meet standards of civility and respect. Cell phone video of the incident has gotten 2 million hits on social media. In Milwaukee, police are trying to track down a stolen Picasso. The 1949 etching known as Torero was hanging on a wall at an art brokerage and vanished all by itself sometime around midday on Friday.
Just walked away.
Yeah, just walked away. That's what the owner said, actually. The police say the galleries and auctioneers throughout the Midwest have been notified about the theft. Wouldn't surprise me if it ends up outside of the Midwest. The piece worth $50,000, up to $50,000, yeah. And now to Los Angeles and the big doings at the NBA All-Star Weekend. Check it out. The slam dunk contest. Oh! And that was the winner there, Utah Jazz guard Donovan Mitchell, clinching the contest.
Look at that.
With that 360-degree tomahawk. He edged out Cavaliers forward Larry Nance Jr. Mitchell, relatively short for the NBA, just 6'4".
Did you ever dunk, Ron? You're a tall,
I used to be able to dunk,
fella.
yeah. Long time ago.
On a regulation rim.
Yes.
Just making sure.
2 hands.
I could still do it.
Not anymore.
360.
No tomahawk.
Yeah,
dunk. Yeah, you could do it.
Tomahawk. Yeah. I mean, when I'm feeling lazy, that's what I do. Hey, Ron, thank you very much.
Thanks,
Appreciate it. You did point out something really important. That we're very lucky and pleased to have Dr. Sam Champion coming in. How you doing, man?
I am well, thank you. Good morning, Ron.
Hi.
Good morning, Paula. Good morning, Dan.
Good morning,
everybody.
Samuel.
Hey, we had a little, we were snow quiet in the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast up until last night. And if you slept through it, because a lot of the accumulating snow was overnight, here's what it looked like. New York City, about 1 inch. Franklin Lakes, New Jersey, about 8.4. Greenwich, Connecticut, about 7 inches of snow. And a lot of it melted on the roads close to the coast. But get in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, and that 8+ inches of snow stayed on the road. So we had some communities having a difficult problem driving out of that stuff. But all of that's gone now. If you want to find that system, it's well off in the Atlantic. And now let's deal with what happens after that. And that's the big warm-up. Check out these numbers. And we're talking about getting into Tuesday here. Austin at 73, Memphis at 75, Lexington 75 degrees. You say it's not possible to get that into New England. Yes, it is. By the time you get to Wednesday, 69 in New York. Let's go 70. We're so darn close. Just say it. And here's the deal. With that area of high pressure, we'll pull up a lot of warm air, but we're also going to block a front which will have an awful lot of moisture, and that's going to mean some flooding in some areas. So from Dallas all the way through Tennessee into Arkansas, we're going to watch this rain pile up. It's going to be about 48 hours of rain. Wednesday's going to be a little bit tough with some of that flooding. That's the weather around the nation. Here's what you can expect this morning.
Watch for a few isolated slick spots this morning. Mostly sunny skies. Daytime highs today in the low 50s. So don't forget the sunglasses if you do have any of those plans today, and all that snow and ice that we picked up yesterday going to be rapidly melting. Now temperatures are going to be on the increase through the later half of this week. For President's Day, mostly cloudy skies and a few spotty showers. We're 20 to 25 degrees above average Tuesday into Wednesday. So enjoy the warmth. We will have a few showers by Wednesday as well.
In our Sunday morning quest to get you ready for the week, we're going to talk West Coast, and there's a big return to winter in a lot of places. Got to get the heads up on that.
We should also point out we were talking about dunking before, and you're wearing some sweet Air Jordans that
Thank
are
you.
just
I do not play, but I do not.
You don't?
That's the round ball with the...
Oh, my gosh, don't do that.
It's so great to have somebody on set who knows as much about sports as I do.
You know what? This is a well-balanced table right now.
It is.
Right?
You guys know
50,
sports.
50.
The two of us, I don't even know
We're
what we
all
know.
going to stay in our lane this morning. And now the heroes and hard work at the Winter Games where they are not playing basketball.
They're
mind
not?
you. No, there's no slam dunking going on.
That's a summer thing?
It's a summer
Here's a look at the medal count. Let's go to ABC's Amy Robach, who's in Pyeongchang, speaking with the athletes. Amy.
Good morning, Dan and Paula. Exciting news for Team USA. Nick Gepper bringing home the silver medal in the men's slopestyle event. And while you were sleeping, I sat down with America's youngest Olympic figure skater, 17-year-old Vincent Joe. He came in 6th overall. He landed 5 quads, and he made history.
Now into the final jump.
It was a victorious day at these games for at least one American athlete.
Wow!
Nick Gepper hitting the rails and soaring through the air in the slopestyle competition, nailing his 3rd and final run, clinching the silver medal. He told me it's a moment he's been preparing for.
Give me a sense of what you've put into this to get to Pyeongchang.
All the prep and all the training, everything goes into it. It all funnels down to one day. You know, sometimes you just really got to take some time to relax and just sort of enjoy the moment.
So not Ted Liggety's Olympics this